Please be sure to support the video we reacted to today by clicking the link at the top. Enjoy the show!
And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy. That show will give you some
tell me what I
straight
need to know. Should I buy this?
up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest game releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Rise of the Rōnin. This is the newest game from Team Ninja, the folks behind so many games. More recently, Neo 1 and 2, and
wait, what game did they?
Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. This is the newest game from Team Ninja, the folks behind so many games.
Did they also make Ninja Gaiden?
More recently, Neo 1 and 2, and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. They've kind of taken things they've learned from those games and set their ambitions on an open world adventure in a cool historic setting. And while
so it's open world,
Rise of the Rōnin is definitely almost clearly flawed. So far, I've been having a lot of fun with this one. There's a lot to it, a lot to explain.
He said that it's clearly flawed, but he's been having a lot of fun with it. That's
breakdown.
exactly
so, before we do get into it, just the usual disclaimer.
Say no mas!
We've been playing a review copy on PS5. That's where this footage is captured, and it's running in PC? Performance mode. And this video is spoiler-free, so don't worry. Now, I mentioned flaws right at the start, but to be completely honest...
Bro, the fact that you said that it's flawed, but you've been having fun, like, just speaks so many volumes. So many volumes, bro. Oh, are you kidding me? A game like Elden Ring was so freaking flawed. So flawed. Still is heavily flawed. Are you kidding me? It's so much fun, bro. I can't stop playing. I'm still playing. I'm still going to... Bro, I've been prepping for the DLC.
Elevator pitch cuts through a lot of that. Wo Long or Neo meets Ghost of Tsushima's open world. Just different time period. Basically, a vast open world adventure with Team Ninja's brand of spin-off Souls-like combat, but in a big world filled with quests, side quests, loot, hidden things, collectible cats, towns, NPCs.
Collectible cats? I want collectible cats!
And cool traversal. I think for some people, that's all they really needed to hear. And I think
characters who become... I'm sorry. Characters who have become flammable will suffer significant damage from fire-type attacks, in addition to being inflicted with a burn status. So you can, like, what, like, throw oil at them? So there's, like, way more mechanics to this. Okay. Sorry.
The game totally nails that premise, at least. This game is messy, and it throws...
Bro, this is literally Assassin's Creed Japan! I've been asking for this for how long?
Kitchen sink at you. Systems, skill trees, weapons...
We have been asking Ubisoft for a freaking Assassin's Creed in Japan for how long? Y'all gave us that. I'm not saying it's garbage, right? But y'all gave us that one tiny freaking game.
I'm trying to break down at least most of it. Some of those systems are better than others. You know, where one area might falter, another might totally kick ass. But combat is the main gist of the game.
Ubisoft, what are you doing?
And that is a lot of fun. So you have multiple weapon types to take advantage of and hone and develop, like maybe one katana, two swords, a few longer weapons, heavier weapons, ranged weapons, guns, bows and arrows, pistols, all of them having their own move sets and animations and capabilities. Now,
dude, a Noidaichi with like a flintlock, or like a katana with like a musket. Oh, that would be so freaking sick!
As you progress, you unlock multiple different swappable stances
so you could like have
to take advantage of
like the wakizashi and the katana
with their
on each
own
hand,
little differences
and then switch off the wakizashi with the
different advantages over different enemies.
Oh,
you have a dodge, a roll, a block, and a special parry deflect mapped to triangle that you're going to need to learn to get the hang of really quickly. Now, if you've played any of these types of games, you know that there's a big attack with a red flash that indicates like the only way to defend it is to do this special parry, and if you miss it, you'll just get like your ass completely beat. So you deflect those attacks and regular attacks more and more to weaken your enemies' meter to open them.
That's so cool. So you really could do dual wield or like just two-hand the one weapon.
Up for
but then that other enemy was like one-handing the weapon. Could you also one-hand the katana?
You also have your
For, like,
own
more
meter to
speed or
worry
something?
about from blocking, striking, and
Yeah, he's dual
burning it
wielding,
on
which is sick.
special attacks you
But I want to
unlock.
dual wield a
mapped
katana and a wakizashi.
to holding a trigger and pressing a button. Now you unlock all kinds of these
Yeah, look at
attacks
what that
as you
ninja's doing. I
go,
want
and
to do it
then
like him.
once you get into
Well,
the
like
skill
one
tree that I'll
katana's
try to
like
explain in a
backwards,
little
even
bit,
though I'm
there's
sure that's like incredibly inaccurate. I'm sure that maybe I don't know. I don't know about the fighting styles, but maybe that's not accurate. But that looks so cool.
more depth to the combat. Like you're unlocking stuff like shooting while dodging backwards, jumping on enemies, using a grappling hook on them,
Bros
throwing
wielding
shit at them, and
axes.
a lot more I won't spoil. But there's a staggering amount of stuff to the combat. Even when it boils down to just like whack, whack, whack. Like there's
Bro,
so
just lassoed that barrel.
much more around those simple combos. Even without a lot of that stuff, the combat is still a lot of fun.
It literally is Assassin's Creed Japan. Get out of here, bro. Ubisoft, y'all suck. What are you doing?
A lot of back and forth sword clashes that just feel really satisfying when you nail it. Like a good ping ping, you know, there's enough enemy variety to keep things interesting, and finishing enemies off always feels so awesome. The game has really satisfying head pops and arms
You even
getting
have like an ally fighting with you, like the y'all remember when Assassin's Creed Revelations, where you had the you had your assassin, like the Brotherhood, that would like help you out, bro. I freaking love that.
chopped off and stuff that make you really feel lethal. And yes, the game is challenging. It's more accessible because there's so much to do and explore and get stronger, and you can take your time. And it's really helped me get into it. And it feels like there's a good balance of challenge and actually progressing and not hitting total roadblocks. I mean, there's still the typical bullshit. You know, you might get ganged up on by two bosses or two enemies at a point, or just have an enemy that just gets you stuck in a big, long attack loop combo. And you're just going to have to sit there and, sorry, if you have a job, kids, a life, you're going to have to sit and learn these enemy attack patterns and learn those
Get good, boy.
timings. So yeah, it can be brutal, specifically with some of those parry timings. It can be less forgiving, but moment to moment, it's all good. Like, there are 3 difficulty modes, and on the normal difficulty,
It
I
literally
did get
is
my ass
Assassin's
beat the
Creed.
further I got into the game. You can tell from the gameplay footage, like, timing those special parries can be really, really tricky. And with the harder enemies, like I said, it can be unforgiving. Not as unforgiving as other games in this subgenre, mind
Yeah, it's
you. I
very
will totally say
Souls-like
that.
with the damage.
But you should still be warned. Oh, there also is some stealth as well that I did enjoy. It's very simple. There's not too much to it, but you can crouch, creep around, you can snipe enemies, stealth kill, throw things to distract, run around on rooftops and assassinate. It could be better, but it's like
literally
just
Assassin's Creed. It's the Assassin's Creed I've wanted for years. Yeah, literally.
enough.
I absolutely want
I
to play
tried to
this.
stealth as much as I could. It's not complex, unfortunately, but it's just enough where it doesn't feel like a total
Yeah, neither
afterthought
is Assassin's
inclusion.
Creed, but
And
I'm
structurally,
noticing everything
the game
I have
is open
done in
world with
Assassin's Creed
stuff
so
to
far.
do and quests and side quests to follow.
just don't
you can
see
track them
bales of
all
hay.
in the pause menu. Now, throughout the
I have a
world, there
club,
are
too? I
bonfires
want,
that
like,
you
a
can
demon,
hit that
like,
you can
club.
cash in your souls that you get from killing enemies. Although
You know what I'm
with
talking about,
this,
the one with
it's
the little
called
nipples on it?
karma. So just kill some enemies, run back to the nearest bonfire flag you can find, click it, and cash that stuff in to unlock some skill tree points. It's a skill tree that relies on just regular skill points and specialized
did that horse
points
come from?
for each of the trees, like dexterity, strength, etc. And it works really good. It's a solid, satisfying skill tree with meaningful upgrades that I actually really liked. Now, this is a simplified system. Like, it's a simpler version of the Souls thing. It's a bit more forgiving. When you're killed by an enemy, there's then a vendetta against that enemy. So when you respawn, you can go after them to get your
Oh, it's like the Nemesis system from freaking Lord of the Rings.
lost karma. And
Shadow
you know,
Mordor.
even if you miss out, it doesn't feel like that big of a deal because the game is fairly generous. And when you're doing story missions, you usually have a bonfire right outside of the area that you start in, where you can click on that bonfire and plan your attack, choose your allies, and equip stuff. You can also activate co-op as well and play along with someone online if you want, which is pretty cool.
There's freaking
I might have
co-op?
missed some of it with this whole structure. We got to keep moving, but yeah, there is still the loop of die, lose your souls, that type of Souls-like thing, but it's pretty forgiving in my experience so far. It's not like the main crux of the game. It's just kind of a part of it. And I will address the elephant in the room. You can already tell from watching this, graphically, the game doesn't look very good. YouTube videos definitely
Barely
make it
noticed it, I'll be completely honest. I really didn't.
worse. It's a little better running in person, like on my screen at home, but this game just
It looks
does
very
look
pretty to
very,
me.
very outdated, man. I
Does
love the
it?
colors and some of the details and some of the art direction, but it's all
I mean, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, if the resolution looks bad because it's on YouTube, but
brought down by simplistic visuals, some really weird jacked up lighting in spots, tons of texture pop in, and even some just really ugly, almost low res
I will
tech.
want that. Look, Elden Ring was not the freaking like. It was amazing, right? But it wasn't exactly like that. Not every freaking detail was picture perfect either. So I don't think it really matters that much. I really don't.
Textures. Like this
Like
is
at all, if anything.
unfortunate because the
If it's
setting
still
is
fun,
so
I'll take
beautiful
simplistic,
on paper. I'll
easy
talk about that
graphics.
in a little bit, but like the different regions have variety, NPCs go about their business, there's weather and a day and night cycle, but it all just looks muddled and rough. And I know graphics aren't everything, but sometimes this can really kill the immersion. You might be more sensitive to that or less sensitive. Maybe you don't care as long as it's fun. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. This game definitely is not a looker. Now,
Some people do genuinely want to like, I get it. They want to work their workhorse. They want to really like push the limits of their game. And and for that you have Cyberpunk. Go play Cyberpunk. Phantom Liberty, Phantom Pain. You go do that. But not so much for me. I'll be honest.
Team Ninja did also go full-on storytelling here, and it has its ups and downs. It's 1850s Japan, and to its credit, I think it's one of the few games focused on the Bakumatsu period in Japan's history, if I'm pronouncing that right. It just makes for a really unique setting and flavor. You're exploring rolling fields and mountains and plains with beautiful cherry blossom trees, bamboo forests, all of that, but then you're also exploring places influenced by countries outside of Japan coming over. Pretty early on, you're introduced to Yokohama. It's a metropolitan city with a mix of Western and Eastern cultures and people walking around and architecture that is unlike anything I've seen in a game before. And you're exploring all of these places with a grappling hook and a cool glider and a horse. The horse kind of sucks, but whatever. There are shops, there are places to upgrade your weapons, sell stuff, civilians to get side quests from, little things that pop up where you can help out, just all that open world stuff. Now, this
Yeah,
game
it sounds good so far.
there is a lot of that less fulfilling open world stuff. Like some people are tired of open world filler or busy work. Here, in this game in particular, I didn't mind.
Can I look like
Most
that?
of it doesn't last too long, even clearing out bases and stuff like that, like bandit camps. And I like the combat enough that I just always wanted reasons to kill things, so I didn't mind. But I did get sidetracked. The story. Without spoiling much, you create your own character in a pretty damn good character creator, and then you set out as a Rōnin in a changing world, kind of looking for revenge for your raided village and your lost blade twin partner, but you quickly get wrapped up in local politics and all kinds of stuff. So there's a whole tale here with branching rewards and storylines because you choose who to embrace in this world. And there's a screen that keeps track of your standing.
Isn't that just it, though? That is the path of the Rōnin, baby. There ain't nothing holding you down. That all you know is the way of the blade. You understand? You know the sword. You know the edge, and that's it. All you live for is the next fight, bro.
The shogunate, reject them, or just try to be a neutral party. And on top of all that, then there's also bonds you're forming with characters that you meet along and pick up along the way. Some are comic relief, some are simple badasses, some are based on real-world historical figures, and all of these people can be spoken to, given gifts and stuff back at your home base, and tending to them increases the bond, netting you all kinds of rewards and stuff. There are some interesting characters, and the differences in cultures is cool. The setting, like I said, is great, but the story might be a little forgettable for some. It's like doing just enough to keep me moving through it, but it feels like there's a lot of fluff in it. I may not really remember much of it in a few months. But there is one cool thing, one through line that I really like that I can't spoil, but I will say there is like a creative spin or two.
I just realized, I'm like looking at the thing like, what the frick is with his moveset? And I just look up at the top. He's a drunk samurai. I love it.
Loot,
A master of the
unfortunately,
drunken
is
fist,
not
I
very
see.
good.
Which I know
it's
that's not a Japanese
pretty
thing, but-
unsatisfying because the game does the thing where it just dumps tons of it on you constantly, and because it's got a different rarity color level, you're supposed to just get excited. Your inventory is constantly filled with stuff that just kind of gets dumped in there, and it just
Good. I don't know about you, but I freaking love it, bro. Oh, I love just like something about me just finding junk. Kind of like that's why I like Dying Light 2 so much. Even like just sometimes just beating up a bad guy and they drop a blue weapon. I'm just like yeah. I'm just like yeah. Even though I have a much better weapon, I got a purple. What the frick do I care? But I got a blue.
Is muddled by a bunch of crap in between. It just
but now I got
feels
two
like
blues.
an annoyance and a waste. And the
I get
stats,
it.
whatever. There are actually some really cool outfits and things and just ways to outfit your character that can make them look like a badass at least. So there is that. Ultimately,
Well, that's the thing. If it's a Souls-like, at the very least for me, like Elden Ring, like, yeah, I could use the Tree Sentinel's armor set, and I'd be fine, right? But I don't know. I have been trying so hard to get the Duelist set. I got the shoulder pads. I got the Rotten Duelist, like Greaves, but I don't have the helmet, and I don't got like the vice versa. You get me? I don't have the unrotten Greaves. I mean the unrotten shoulders. The unrotten Greaves and the rotten shoulders. I don't have those. So it's like, yeah, there's definitely better armor, but in a Souls-like game, especially like Elden Ring, I don't really care too much because I want my character to look cool more than I do want them to, have more protection. Because for the most part, I'm dodging if I, and at least in Elden Ring. Again, different gameplay, different style. In Elden Ring, I would be dodging a lot more than I would be blocking or taking damage. So it's kind of like, either don't take, so it's like, I guess it depends on your playstyle, but for me, I like to just avoid any and all damage if possible.
Rise of the Rōnin is a pretty standard open world type of thing where you're clearing out enemy bases, collecting things, and leveling up. Some people don't need another one of these games, but this one has a really unique setting and some kick-ass combat. It's ugly looking sometimes, and it seems really long. I don't know how much blood can be drawn from this stone, or just how much steam it has throughout, but it is just good video game junk food time. It's not as highly precise as a Souls game, and it's not as artsy and contemplative and controlled as a Ghost of Tsushima. It is very much its own thing. For some people, like if you know what...
I love it. They're not trying to compete with nobody. It's like Power. You ain't trying to compete with nobody, bro. You're just trying to make a good game. Graphics, who cares? Make the game good.
That means, or what that entails,
is it fun?
You might be into it. It's not the next big thing, but it's flawed fun. So there you have it. There was a lot to describe with this one, but I hope I got my point across. This is a before you buy. You know how this goes by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion, and now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this game. Let me know your expectations, because I didn't know what to make of this one leading up to it, with it being like a Sony published thing. I was like, is this going to feel different from a regular Team Ninja game? Yeah, let me know your opinion going into this one, whether or not you're choosing this over Dragon's Dogma 2. For the review purposes, obviously Falcon took on Dragon's Dogma 2. I jumped into this, but now I want to play Dragon's Dogma as well. So check out that video if you haven't already, but thank you guys for being here, talking games with us. If this helped you out, steered you in the right direction one way or the other, just seeing some gameplay, clicking the like button does help us out. We would really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out new videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
I love it, dude. It looks so good. Is it only on PS5? Wait, is it Path of the Rōnin or Rise of the Rōnin? I'm an idiot. The one thing I do miss is search on Google from Chrome. Nah. No, it's an exclusive. Ah, well, can't play it. Ah, well. Yeah, I can see why it's not, I have to agree, this is not going to be the next big thing, because nobody's going to be able to play it, except for people with a PS5. Makes sense. Makes sense. That's so sad. Looks like it's getting good reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. Live reactions every Friday, so swing by.